The top stories: police searching for graveside gun, power company cuts for social partnership meeting, and the Usain Bolt Complex comes to football's rescue. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2015.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News, your time, your way.
It's a sign of the times that a gun would be taken to a funeral, and that's what happened at ceremonies on Monday for Adriana Sobers, the young woman who died in a road accident on Good Friday. Police say they are trying to trace anyone connected with a gun which fell at the graveside, apparently from a handbag, while the grave was being covered. It was retrieved by a Coast Guard officer, but was quickly snatched by a male mourner who disappeared into the crowd. BW General Secretary Tony Moore says staff cuts at Leighton Park will be on the agenda when a social partnership committee meets on Friday.
The union and the company have not begun discussions regarding the restructuring that Leighton Power would wish to undertake, or as we understand, that Leighton Power has been undertaking, because we recognize that if the company is going to be dismissing significant numbers of workers, or as they would have it, voluntarily separating even with significant numbers of workers, that those are discussions that must be held at the level of the subcommittee of the social partners in the first instance, and then with the union as the workers' representatives. So when that discussion takes place on Friday, we should be in a better position to indicate to you, to the public at large, on the status of those discussions and when or if the union then will be meeting with the company to continue talks.
The Barbados Leighton Power Company says it will cut operating expenses by $30 million over the next 2 years and has warned that the cuts will be coming from all levels of the company. Both the government and the BWU have questioned the procedures the company is using. Ms. Moore said there were also some issues related to sugar which need to be addressed, including the operation of the now-closed Andrews factory.
The concerns regarding the factory will be developed as the Barbados Workers Union receives a full presentation about receives full details about what is intended. We have been receiving a number of different stories and a number of different or conflicting statements regarding the situation at Andrews. And we are very hopeful that once our discussions commence or recommence with the BAMC, that all parties will have a clearer picture and there can be one solid presentation for which the union or to which the union will be able to respond.
Another story about Leighton Power, which is warning people who plan to sell power to the national grid that they have to keep their insurance up to date. The general liability insurance is to provide cover for any damage that may occur from the system. The costs range from $100,000 to $500,000 depending on the size of the system. Johan Graves, a senior Leighton Power executive, set out the requirements at a renewable energy workshop organized by a group of insurers. Barbados is earmarked as the host later this year of a hemispheric summit on non-communicable diseases among children, those like diabetes and heart disease. The primary people pushing for the conference are community worker Hamilton Lashley, the former MP, and health consultant Beverly John. It is tentatively set for September. Barbados has been lauded by a UN official for its progressive policies to protect children. United Nations Deputy Representative Muriel Mafiko, however, told the National Conference on Juvenile Justice that there were still some gaps which need to be addressed.
We all recall that long before the Convention on the Rights of the Child, Barbados abolished the distinction between children that are born in and out of wedlock. This predates the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and that was a sign of progress. We also know that Barbados has been providing free education to children under the age of 6 for many years, and this achievement is the envy of many. We also know that Barbados took the progressive step of increasing the age of criminal responsibility from 7 to 11. So we have a history of progress in this country, of nationally driven, nationally owned, and nationally inspired progress.
In sport, the Barbados Football Association says it has received agreement in principle to use the Usain Bolt Sports Complex for its next home game in FIFA World Cup qualifying in June. The BFA was forced to look for an alternative venue after the stands of the National Stadium were closed on safety grounds. And finally, an appeal court in the United States has granted parental rights to a man who fathered a child with a friend when she used the turkey baster for insemination. The court in Virginia upheld a lower court ruling that granted rights to Robert Bordwine, who provided the sperm that Joyce Bruce used to inseminate herself with a turkey baster. Ms. Bruce had sought to deny Mr. Bordwine parental rights and visitation. She argued that the case fell under the assisted conception statute and Mr. Bordwine should be considered a sperm donor without any rights. However, the court ruled the statute only applies to cases where medical technology is used, and that rules out a kitchen implement such as a turkey baster. And that's Nation News for Wednesday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Thursday or subscribe to our e-paper.